Great, so I'm going to get started now. So welcome everybody to the September edition of Share Art this month. So today we've got 3 artists giving presentations about their artwork. It's great to be able to do this online. I'll be running the tech side of things. Yeah, just be mindful if there's stuff going on in the background or if you've got noise, but I'll try and keep on top of muting and things like that. We've got a chat function. So whilst people are giving presentations, I really encourage you to write positive feedback if any artwork you're drawn to or like, that'd be brilliant. And at the end of each person's presentations, if you would like to ask any questions, we will have time for that as well. So that would be great too. The session is being recorded. It will only record the person speaking and then the slideshow as well. So that's fine. And we've got the great Outside In artist and ambassador, Michelle, that's going to be chairing the event. So we'll pass over to her now. So there we go.
Thanks, hello, Michelle. Everybody. Nice to see people here, as much as we can see people, head and shoulders, because I'm sure some of us have now been able to go on to some events where we're actually in the flesh, as I call it, or 3-dimensional, which is quite weird. I've met some of you before, some of you I haven't met. So firstly, we're just going to show some of my images. And so some of you've seen my work before, I know. And this is a painting I did during the lockdown. And I'm not quite sure if it's finished, but I don't want to do any more work on it, really, is where I got to with it. And it's a kind of malaise, really, because that's how lockdown's been a bit for me. And so, okay, if we go on to the next one. How I draw. So this is drawn on lined paper, because quite often I just doodle on anything. And this is one of those doodles on lined paper with a mixture of biro and felt tip pen, and it's about A4 size. Okay, next one. I put this in because I've been doing a lot of doodles, like we've all got phones and we can all download Sketchbook and various things like that. And I must say, I find them brilliant and quite easy to use and quite fascinating, but it means that I can do hundreds of these things in a day. And this is just one. And a lot of them are done on the go. So I might do them on the bus. I might do them when I'm sitting in a park, because I actually love the fact that the phone enables you, if you like, to do the sort of thing Impressionists used to do, which was go and put their easel up and paint the here and now. Whereas with this, you can do that and you've got no mess and no stuff to carry. So, yeah, thank you. If you like these, you're welcome to follow me on Instagram. And this is done on a program called, I'll tell you, because you might want to, it's free, Sketchbook, and it's on an Android phone. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you. So let's hand over now to Mira, who's going to take us through her work, and she's an outside-in artist.
Hi. So yeah, I'll be presenting a couple of my artwork. I've collected them into a theme. It's called The Art and Science of Loving. So part 1 is the art of loving, relationship components. The art of living is a trip into the components and contrasts of forming a connection. The first step of the art of love is eye contact. This painting represents attraction. The intensity of the eye is highlighted by the pupil being in the center and the colors used. The blue shade is meant to be a symbol of seduction, implying what lies beneath what we see is beyond a choice we take. Hence the eyes fading from that side of the painting. Next. Temptation and attraction have a strong correlation with our instinctive drive in forming a relationship, strong enough to surpass the risk of seduction, causing a fogged choice. This painting is highlighting the contrast between these elements and emphasizing the next component of a relationship, attachment. The color pink is a representation of skin, and green being the symbol of joy. The center is a symbol of seduction, temptation, attraction, and attachment combined to diminish the choice that was made. Next. With time, in relationships, choices get questioned, and instinctively we doubt. This is a visual representation of the sound of lovers quarreling. The center being dramatically shaded into extreme colors of white and black, symbolizing the extreme contrast between the vocal range, frequencies, and tone from each side of the quarrel. The borders of the painting are being pushed over to the edge as the drama escalates. Both the choices and the instinctive factor turn against you. With time, in order to compensate for the choices we take, we tend to form a communication, but the lag is due to interdependency, attachment, and connection. As all these factors fluctuate with time, so does our choice. The color of choice is a representation of the vagueness from communication and the lag. Thus, the details are intentionally barely visible, inviting the question to the viewer and engaging him with the theme, perhaps even having him doubt if he has taken the right choice. Part 2. The Science of Loving. A collection of paintings that represent what the heart looks like when it pumps oxygen-rich blood in and out. Next. This is a cross-section of the heart. Oxygen-rich blood is in red and oxygen-poor blood is in blue. This is a detailed view of the heart with oxygen-poor blood. This is a detailed view of the heart with oxygen-rich blood. Myxomatous degenerative heart disease is a rare heart condition where the patient is born with a benign tumor. Yellow is the growth of the tumor, which varies according to the progressive state on the arteries. This is the final painting that was chosen to highlight the risks we take every day, the details we miss, and the high contrast between science and art, life and death, choices and reality, the art and science of loving. Thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Am I on? So next, I'm going to introduce.
Just wondered if anyone has any questions at all about Mira's work or anything. You can unmute if you'd like. Oh, David, yeah. I have to unmute. Oh, David, sorry, if you just unmute.
I thought absolutely brilliant work, Mira. Very impressive indeed. I think very impressive. Love it.
Thank you, Mira. That I really enjoyed that presentation. It was really interesting, and it was great to see the work with the art and the arteries, and it was a great learning curve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mira. It's very thought-provoking, your subject of love and I was very intrigued by that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Mira. I'm Jackie, and I just wanted to know, I love the subject matter. I thought it was a great way to represent and explore those themes. Do you digitally enhance your images at all, or are they paintings? Because the last few looked as though they might have been digitally produced.
No, they're paintings. I started painting about 2 years ago, and these are one of my first works.
Oh, they're really great. Thank you for sharing them.
Thank you for listening.
Great, thanks. Okay.
This
Okay.
this is just an example of one of the pieces of work I've done recently. I no title them by date actually, because I get confused over titles. So like diary entries, see, so I can't remember the date this actually is at the moment, I have to say, but it's done over the past couple of months, 2 months. So it's done with pencils, biros, monotypes. I take my random monotype, a random monotype. They make sense of random maps. That's our website. It's called Making Sense of Random. So different things to get order into these subject matters, you see, with pencils, biros, acrylics, and felt tips, and all sorts of things on top of it. I like creating faces, actually. I collect quite a lot of stone faces. You can see a connection in a way with these. If you see any stone faces, so you see quite a lot of connections between these works. Next slide, please, Hannah. This is another one I've done recently. So yes, another one I've done recently. I try to randomize them quite a lot, and you can see the drips there. So then I sometimes use collage in them as well. So I like color at the moment. They weren't very dark in the beginning. I like to show stone faces, but I haven't got any at the moment. I got a collection at home. The flat is like my studio actually, so I have a bed in my flat, and it's kitchen and bathroom. But I have my studio over there to right and over there to left, so it's all over the place. So I create everywhere. I create on the bus. I can create in a cafe. So I can do a lot of things. Well, next slide, please, Hannah. It's another one I've done recently. Associated with mask, I think, at times. So wearing masks is quite upsetting. So you can see what I'm saying here. During lockdown, so that's one of the images I created there. Next slide, please. And there's quite a few. I've got 8 here. So what I've done recently, I get quite expressive with I sometimes lose temper painting, so I lose my temper, then express it, make it better. You see, so everything goes into it, like feelings and everything at the time. So like a diary entries, you see. This is another face I created recently. Next slide, please, Hannah. Yeah, they're good. Good. No, I don't set it up purpose. It's got a lot of different materials. If you go to a website, it's got outside website, outside website, it's called Making Sense of Random, you see. So it's monotypes I make. I use my hands to paint. I monotype, I put paper on top of paper, and then a different random image comes up. So a whole series of images I create at a time. Then I try to make sense of them, you see, all the drawings. So I don't stretch paper now. Mainly it's A2 size, actually. I've done some A1 sizes in the past. But I've done some large ones in the past, but I limited size, so A2 size or A3. Next slide, please, Anna. Bit of a jolly one there. I just so enjoyed doing these things. So I really do enjoy it. Next slide, please, Hannah. Next slide, please, Hannah. Next slide, Hannah, please.
The last one.
The last one, is it?
Mm.
What's the last one, Hannah?
I think this is the last one. This one.
Went to 8, did we? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for listening to me.
And are they quite quick drawings? How long do you take to make something
It can
like that?
take a day or maybe 3 days at a time, actually. If we use my acrylic, it has to dry out, you see.
Mm. Wow.
Did I see a few eyes in the paintings, David?
Yeah, they're definitely eyes. Several eyes, actually.
What do they mean?
Have you seen the stone face at all, Kevin?
Pardon?
Have you seen the stone face?
No, I haven't.
The multifaceted, to make different entities, identity of them. These Facebook emojis. They have different faces, different eyes, like potatoes in a way. So
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I put them into my paintings. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Hi, I can see lots of spiders. Oh, there's a big spider there. And there's another one further down. It's as if nature is involved with this.
Yes,
Insects and things.
it's definitely a natural process, I think.
Yeah.
Making sense of random is because nature can be quite random, but then everyone wants to sense of it, really. Like the cosmos is random, so everyone makes sense of it, but at times it can be complicated. But I don't like spiders. A lot like these like flowers to me, actually.
Okay.
But I like the interpretation, Teresa. I like that.
Great. So I will just stop sharing and I'll go back to Kevin so we don't have to flick through everybody. Here we go. There you go.
Kevin, so welcome. So introduction, and also Kevin wanted it to be known that Kevin's also, as well as an outside-in artist, also an ambassador. So welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Anna. I'll just want to introduce myself. I'm Kevin. I'm an outside ambassador. I've done this wrong, haven't I? I've got to wait for my slide.
Okay, yeah, I'll go to your first one.
Oh, so yeah. I've been quite lucky enough recently to have a commission from a charity that I've belonged to for quite a few years, and they're called Out for Heroes, and I'm a beneficiary from them. But I entered into a Christmas card competition a couple of years ago, just literally before lockdown, and I entered it in, and I never heard back from them. So the next thing, and then lockdown happened. So what happened is they during the pandemic, we all had Zoom calls. So I had a Zoom call from them saying that they would like to put one of my pictures that I painted on the Christmas card onto T-shirts, and obviously I was chuffed to naffy breaks. So as we went along, they said, "Do you know an army saying? Do you know any military saying?" So yeah, I do. I know quite a few. And one of my favorites was chuffed to naffy breaks, which I'll still use now. And after a day's grueling training, like a 9-mile run or being on the drill square, marching up and down, square bashing, as we used to call it, going to the gym or any other, when a naffy van turned up, it was a godsend to all the troops. So they used to be exactly like that from the Second World War. This naffy van is actually a K2 Austin. And it was, I think, 1943 they first used these, and they went right up to the 90s. Well, I was serving during the 80s. I started serving in 1981. So this process of this slide is the first one up the top, as you're looking at the top left-hand corner, is my painting. It's done in acrylics, and I've used water mixable oils as well on Bristol board. And we used to queue up for miles on these naffy vans. So when I painted it, I sent it through. Then they asked me if I could do a poster. So what I did is the Chuffed to Naffy Breaks one there is I trained as a sign writer. So what I did is I traced out the letters onto the paper, and then the background I used coffee, and I just put little lines in, and as you can see in the bottom right hand corner of the Naffy Breaks poster, I've put some nails in, but they didn't have them on. They didn't actually use them on the t-shirts. They took them out digitally. These nails are actually hand painted. So in the right hand corner there, you could see where I went too dark with the lines, and then as a learning curve in it painting, and so as I went along, the lines got lighter and they look a lot better. And so the digitally cut the van out, took all the grass off, and like blended into the background. And now these ended up on t-shirts, and the bottom right hand corner is the color of the t-shirts that they actually used, and that's what the final t-shirt looked like. And they also put it onto mugs. So I was like obviously chuffed to naffy breaks about it. Next slide, please, Anna. And as you can see, you've got all the items where they actually used the Chuffed to Naffy Breaks vehicle on, and the more better songwriting poster. And you got all that's the model that used to that wears them all the time. Ross Kemp, he didn't actually get to wear my t-shirt. I was a bit disappointed about that, but he was on the same slide as my t-shirts. And there's me down the bottom with a little write-up about my t-shirts and the mug. There's the actual I don't know what they call it. They call it the original design of the t-shirt, where they actually place it onto they call them tees, not t-shirts. They call them tees in the graphics department. And that's the main one that they sent back to me. And then they put them onto mugs, and now they're on to print on demand posters. So I was obviously really pleased with this. Next slide, please, Anna. Now, this is the original one for the Christmas card that I designed. That's the free Troy services. And I've entered in a Coldstream Guard, obviously, because that's what I used to be, a 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards. Then I kept it diverse, so I put a wren in. So because you don't see many like pictures on that go out with the female, like the wrens, or the racks, which is Women's Royal Army Corps, and the wrens is the Women's Navy. And So then I invented Sergeant Santa. So he's a bit fed up because they're just turning up on parade. So that was what I actually entered in. But it changed. They wanted the free Troy services, the guardsman, the Wren and the RAF. And so that had to be cut out. As it went on further, they wanted a Royal Marine to be put in. Because I did it for winter, so I had to put the winter order dress in the Royal Marine, which is the second, is right next to it. And as you can see, I've kept it all diverse, and I've added all different ethnics, different people, different. But the only thing is with this is the uniforms are all winter, so I had to. That's why I had to do that. Sorry, and then you can see the actual T-shirt there, and then you got me wearing the T-shirt. And the same there, they've put it onto posters up the top right-hand corner. And so as this has gone along, I was really, really, really pleased. And next slide, please, Anna. Now this one, you've seen the first one of my Christmas card. Now this is the sort of like pandemic Christmas card. It's called Santa on Mute. Now I've got everybody had, like we're doing now, we're doing Zoom calls. Back then they were well, yeah, everybody's doing Zoom calls. But what I did was I did Santa coming out of a paper wall saying ho ho ho, and then there's Rudolph down below saying Santa, you're on mute. So and you can see by his eyes he's thinking, oh no, what have I done? So on the top left-hand corner, I've got one of the reindeers, Dasher. He's mucking around with all the lights with it, and then he's dangling a carrot down to Prancer. You know, and Prancer's just about to eat the carrot. I've done it in like a 3D sort of zoom. So it takes a lot of planning, and I had to do the boxes separately, and I've also there's a little bit of detail there. Instead of Apple computers, I've put carrot computers, you know, in the middle. So I've added a lot of items, and obviously I've had to change the colors in the background because they wanted like a bit of a military theme and all that, but it would have been too much if I put like put pictures of like people in the military, families with their grandfather with their medals on and all that. And it would have been, I thought personally it would have been too much. So when they agreed with that. So, but this one here is now out on sale on Christmas cards, and all the profits go to help the soldiers, and that's what I enjoy most about it, you know. And and to be asked to do it was, you know, I was just chuffed the naffy breaks, as I say. Next slide, please, Anna. Oh, this is a portrait of me when I was I would have been 19 years of age in 1983, because I just got my Northern Ireland medal. And that's me. That's the uniform I wore, and that's the tunic, the tweeds, the boots. I've tried to bull the boots up because I spent hours bulling them up when I was in, and I wasn't too keen on the background, but that was the type of background we used to use back in the 80s if we had photographs taken and all that. So I had to try to mimic. But what I've worked from here is photographs from the 80s. So they're not very good. They're quite clear. So I've had to use like bits of uniforms. So I had to do basically lots of research to get this right. And the bearskin took me ages because I think the bearskins had about 5 or 6 coats. And if I'd done the lighter colors, which is actually a very light gray blue. So I think it's Payne's grey, but added with a bit of titanium white, and I've had to work my way up. So from the bottom, I've kept the lines on the bearskin all the way through, and I've actually gone in between, and I've painted around them. I can sit there now for hours doing this because I seem to have a lot more patience. It must be because I'm getting older, or I always think because there's a while back I had a stroke, And ever since then, I've seemed to have had more patience. Where I used to do lots of quick drawings, I know it's not nice to have a stroke, but I seem to have a lot more patience doing the. That's why I get my words muddled up as well sometimes. That's part of the stroke. I had it on the left hand side, and it affects your frontal lobe. And but I always say it's benefited me in a way that I've got more patience. That's what I was trying to get. Next slide, please, Anna. Now, this one is like forensic work again. Now, this is this person here. He was in Stalag. He was in the prisoner of war camps in the Second World War. And he left the prisoner of war camps and stayed in the services and became an army recruiting sergeant. Now, I forgot to put the photograph that I had to do it with. But I had to recreate his uniform, his stripes. Now, as a recruiting sergeant is the only one that actually wears the gold stripes on that number 2 dress. And that's on the left-hand arm there. You can see the stripes and the 2 flags, which means the recruiting office. So I had to recreate all this from the a black and white photograph. So I found that he was in the buffs, which is the horses up the top there. And even though his cap badge is different from them, that means he served into 2 different regiments. So that's his sash for him being a full or a staff sergeant, as they would call it. In the Guards, it would be a full sergeant or a colour sergeant, and he's called a staff sergeant. But I had to get all his medals because all his medals that they're the ribbons that go along. I had to space them out correctly and get all the correct colours. So I had to do a lot of research on the MOD site to get all the colours correct. And I asked the grandson, whose granddad it is, to show me pictures of his medals and of what he's got. But he didn't have a lot because obviously over the years a lot of stuff goes missing, and you have breakups, split ups, or whatever, and that's what he was explaining to me, and and that's all I had to work with. But he was over the moon with it, and these are all like paintings I've been doing during the lockdown as well. I think it's him being framed, this one, and it should be presented to him soon. And that's it really. And next slide, please, Anna. Now, this one's one of my favorites. Now, this is Oscar. He's a lifeguard. Now, we in our household division, we got 7 septum juncta in uno, which means 7 into 1. And the household cavalry and the lifeguards are the 2. And this one's actually one of the lifeguards. The other one is the Blues and Royals. And this is Oscar. This is a friend of mine who's a co-streamer, his brother. Now, Oscar's is called Oscar Airy, but he's actually from Italy originally. His family is. His mother and father are, and they moved to here when they was quite young. So is Franco, and he's reserved back to his last name, which is Franco Gazzaparati. I've got to remember how to pronounce that. And this is Oscar Airy, which is Oscar Gazzaparati. So I've had to, in his face, so I had yet again, I had a really bad photograph from the 80s. So I had to put it all together. So what I've done is in the face, I've tried to get like an Italian look, like oily, or is it of olive skin, isn't it? Oily skin. So I had to get all that with his breastplate and his cuirasses, which is the brass ones that comes down there. With the breastplate, which is the main plate that's in the middle, is Whitehall, a reflection of Whitehall. You can't see it and I've got the reflection of his plume on the side as well. Now that took me ages. That took me a few days to do that. It was quite a painstaking work. And yet again, I'm terrible for. I always think a painting looks better the more coats it's got on it, and I think it makes it stand right out. So. And I've done the same with his helmet with the plume. I'll put lots of coats on, the brass, the Order of the Garter Star, and the curb chain, as we call it. And the curb chain took quite a while because it's a tricky, believe it or not, the curb chain is more trickier than what the breastplate was. and it's smaller because the curb train has got loads of little links in it all the way down through. So each one, and I kept going wrong, you know, and as I'm going along, I thought that doesn't look right. So I had to paint that, because it's water mixable oils, I had to wait for it to dry a bit before I could go back over it. And sometimes I actually got a wet wipe and wiped it out and then restarted. And the boots, when I got down to the boots, they are actually a bluey color, but when the light shines on the boots, they do come out quite blue. But when I've done the boots down there, I've had to put a little bit of blue in titanium white. So I've used curriculum blue with a titanium white to get the shine of the boots. And on his original boots, you couldn't see all the spurs in the background. So I've went on and seen pictures online of the household cavalry and added the spurs on, because that's what it would have looked like on a clearer picture today, you know. And Frankel was when he's just had it framed, and he's put Oscar's medals underneath, which that's another tricky part, you know. The one up the top is a Cyprus medal, a UN medal, and he's got the same one. Apparently, Oscar served the same time as me in Northern Ireland, but I never met Oscar before. So there's a bit of a coincidence there as well, and I'm actually painting him. But he was in an area up the north, and I was in an area down the south. So we've never crossed paths. And so basically, this is one of me. I think this is one of my better works I've done for a long time, and I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with it. Next slide, please, Anna. Now this one here, right? It's called The Invisible Man. It's a painting of the Invisible Man on an easel. You can, if you look closely, you can see the outline of him. It's done in canvas on canvas with water mixable oils. You can just barely see my signature on the right hand side of it. I'm only kidding. It was a joke. This one was. That's why I put it on. But I have actually, there is a little bit of a story to this. I put Oscar on the last painting onto a site called Older Artist, right? And it got something like 100 likes, right? I put this on, it got 500 likes. So you see, it does make you feel invisible, you know. And I actually put another painting on there, and I think I got about 20 likes. Do you know what I mean? And but this one here is actually just a photograph, and all I did was call it The Invisible Man, and it got like 500 odd likes, and I had loads of comments about it as well. But I was quite it was in the long run, it was quite funny. But thank you very much, Anna, and thank you very much, Michelle. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate this.
No, it's really lovely. Thank you.
Is there any questions?
I really loved it.
Oh, thank you, Mira.
I loved everything about it, the story, your connection with the paintings, and I usually love watching movies around, you know, historical movies and things like that. But the way you painted the images, and yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Oh, really appreciate that, Mira. Thank you very much.
I love all the work that you do, the charitable work that you do, and all your donations. I love the Christmas cards. Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Oh, it's chuffed with them, the Christmas cards. Because there's something I don't normally do. It's I normally do keep with the military side of it, but with the Christmas card, it's like it was you know, right for the occasion because of all the what's it called, the Zoom calls we've had all year round. You know, well, the last 2 years, isn't it? It's been quite a long time.
Did you do a lot of painting in the lockdown, or? Yeah,
I was non-stop.
Yeah,
I did a bit too much sometimes. Yeah, I did a bit because I was actually, it clears you out.
Yes. Yes, I did an awful lot.
And I was absolutely shattered sometimes, and
Yeah.
'cause I was just constantly painting. And I still am at the moment. I've had a little break recently, which is good, and I've been able to get on there because it was Eva who on one of our meetings said that we could about joining Instagram. I've never joined Instagram. Remember that?
Yes, I remember that, and I spoke to
Yeah.
you about that.
If Eva's on today, I'd like to thank her because I'm actually on Instagram now.
Yes. Yes, I'll go down that road down the line. I'm very nervous about Instagram.
Just leave it on there and let the public decide. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I'm on Instagram, and I've got a friend who exhibited some of her work at Westminster Reference Library, and she's on Instagram. I noticed she's just gone on, so I must speak to her about it, her experience as well. It's a good friend.
I've not got no experience on it at the moment, but I'm getting there. So I use
Okay.
Facebook a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have an Instagram session. I don't know if that would be possible, Hannah.
Yeah, definitely. That would be great. Yeah, like talking about posting and tagging and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram 101, maybe a session to sort of focus on that and any questions people might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna, you know, on Instagram, right? You've got outside in UK, and then I found that there's another outside in. It just says outside in.
Okay, is that just, yeah, it might be just, is it being used?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
but it doesn't do a lot of art on it. It's not outside
Yeah,
in.
it
So
might
I
just
click.
be someone else.
It's an organization, but I clicked on it and it keeps coming up, and I keeps waiting to see the outside in Instagram posts, and this keeps coming up, and it's quite different. It's not as the same as Instagram UK, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's an outside in based in America.
That's the one. It
That's
is.
very
I think
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one.
I'll have a look. Yeah.
I didn't want to click off it just in case it was part of outside in.
Yeah, no, so our Instagram one is just outside in _ UK, and that, I think that's the same for Facebook and Twitter, but it might just be a dot instead of an underscore.
But also there might be other organisations, you know, there's lots of outside art galleries and things that are called outside gallery and stuff on Instagram. It's, you know, there are thousands of people on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Is it possible for me to have some more of the booklets? Because there's a bookery gallery opened on Church Street where I live. And I'm doing a presentation there tomorrow night. If anybody's free and they want to come along, it's on Church Street, the Bookery Gallery. And it's to do with Blake's Snakes and a discussion around that. And I'm doing a presentation. It's about myths and legends. And I've given away, I'm going to give them a lot of my booklets because I've been handing them out here, there, and I'm right out of leaflets and booklets. It would be lovely if I can have some more sent to me.
Yeah, we can get those sent to you. Yeah,
yeah.
No problem. Yeah, I got your message. I'll give you a call back today.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay, I'm just going to stop the sharing.